Welcome to episode 9 of the Spiritual 9 to 5 podcast, hosted by myself, Marie Groover, from the Corporate Psychic. This episode blends the psychic and the spiritual with the very human self, with our very human beliefs. And coming from a psychic reader herself, it invites you to think for yourself, because you already know the answers for which you seek. I should say right up front that this episode is not actually about trusting or believing in or consulting with the psychic realm. Psychic, by the way, means of the soul, which is of no matter for the content of this discussion. The meat of this discussion, the point, is about thinking and deciding for yourself. It's about self-discernment and about how important it is to practice self-discernment in the navigation of your own life. If you want to be truly in charge of your own life. So, I'm going to start with a little bit of psychic talk. And if it makes you uncomfortable, please stick around because the spirit is not the point, at least not today. So I felt a dilemma last week and I texted a close friend. Her first response was, "Have you asked the cards? What did they say?" And this is a common response from almost anyone who is aware of the type of work that I do. I do facilitate intuitive readings, and it's a large part of my business. I consult on behalf of myself and others with the Akashic Records, with tarot. I talk to my spirit team on a regular basis. People pay me to talk to their spirit teams. I listen to and I feel out energy, and I translate that to the human form. And this is for a part of my living. And also because it's really fun. I'm really into it, and I'm always surprised by what I find or how I'm able to validate another human being. It's not me, by the way. But when my friend asked me, have I asked the cards? I hadn't. It's why I was texting her. And when other people ask me what my guides are saying when I'm in moments of distress or conflict, I have to share with you, oftentimes my guides are silent. I don't go to my cards or astrology or the Akashic Records or even God or the universe every time I have a conflict in my heart or a decision to make. I don't pray, aka speak to spirit, every time I'm in a difficult situation. At least not for answers. I mull it over with myself first. I ask friends and family and people that I trust, mentors, therapists, coaches, neutral, non-judging parties. I talk about it. I feel it out. Most of the time, I find that I already know the answer that I'm looking for. But in the times I don't, in the times that it's really tough, that's when I bring in my cards or talk to a spiritual advisor. And I think that that's important. I think it's important to practice your own discernment before and after you've consulted spirit, by the way. Otherwise, you're giving up your agency. You're allowing something or someone else to drive your life. I know people who seek a psychic or a spiritual advisor, even like a pastor or an astrologer or their card deck or the Bible at every single crossroads in their lives, big or small. And I'm not here to say that that's wrong, because what is wrong or right? But I am here to say that if you don't discern and decide for yourself, even when you are seeking from someone else or something else, if you don't discern and decide from yourself from deep within, which by the way implies that you need to know yourself from deep within, at least some of the time, but ideally most of the time, you're not actually steering the car of your life. Even if you work with the kind of person who brings you back to yourself. If you have a session with me, you might notice that I will never tell you what to do. I'll never tell you what to believe. I'll never tell you what's right or wrong for you. And neither will your guides, by the way. Your intuition, your guides, the universe will never say, you must do this, you have to do this, you should do this, you need to do this. No. This is a key for recognizing your intuition versus your mind or your ego, by the way. And this is a key into who you should or shouldn't listen to if you're talking to a reader. Your soul is in the business of expanding. And no matter what you choose, especially in those crossroads situations, you are still going to expand. You are still going to learn the lessons you are meant to. It's just a matter of which way do you want to do it. Do you want to pick the path of least resistance, of ease and flow, or do you want to pick the slightly pricklier path with some ups and downs along the way? It's up to you. And part of the human experience, I believe, is being in the human experience and navigating life on our own human terms, not from ego, not from pride, but from a space of knowing that we at all times are fully capable of knowing and moving and choosing the right decision for us from self, because self alone is connected to the divine. If we look at this from the perspective of a parent and a child, not that divine is like a parent to us, though many philosophies do refer to it this way. But if we look at it from this perspective, if a child is constantly going to parents when they're not sure about something, or when they need something, or when they're in trouble, and parents intervene every single time, and by intervene I mean step in on behalf of child, not help guide child back to self, not help child think or do, but do for the child, the parent will take away the child's capability to do it on their own. Worse, the parent will take away the child's confidence in self, and trust in their own abilities. Now, this doesn't mean that a parent should never step in for a child. And of course, the child should always feel safe to go to their parents in difficult times. But there is a delicate and very important balance in this. This is also true of spirit, God, the universe, the divine, your parents, society, your education, whatever. To surrender and trust in a great power, being, or energy does not mean sitting on the sidelines and waiting for what we want to come to us. It also does not mean that every time we're faced with a difficult decision, we look for and wait for signs from the universe, or go see a psychic reader, or go talk to a spiritual advisor. And obviously talking to someone is always great, but like looking for the answer is really the thing that I'm hinting at here. Every time we're faced with a difficult decision, we don't look for the answer and then do exactly what we're told or as we interpret. I mean, sometimes we do, and sometimes people do. What I'm suggesting is that we don't do that. Parents, they do have the best interest of their children in mind and heart, and yet still sometimes guide children or decide on behalf of children poorly. Especially as the child becomes an adult, they are the single best decision maker for themselves in their own life. You are the single best decision maker for yourself in your own life. And if you don't believe that fully, ask yourself right now, who or what has made you feel that way? Who or what has taken your power? When did you give it away? And what do they have to gain? Spirit isn't going to give you all the answers. Society isn't going to give you all the answers. Your education also not going to give you all the answers. You are. You are the only being, entity in your life that you know that can give you the answers that you seek. Who are you? Why are you here? Where are you going? What do you want most in this life? If you seek these answers from anything but yourself, you're not living or deciding from an authentic source. You are instead a vessel for someone or something else. And while I do believe that we're all vessels of the divine, I also believe that we are the best translators for what that means for each of us on our own terms. And this doesn't just translate to the psychic realm. I'm talking about the importance of thinking for yourself, feeling for yourself, deciding for yourself. How many of you share the same political beliefs as your parents? And how many of you understand the core tenets of those political beliefs? And then how many of you have passed those same beliefs down to your children without asking why or where they came from, without challenging them once? Or how about this one? How many of you have started a yoga practice, found a teacher that you really admire, and then started sharing the learnings from your teacher or your classes to other people and have adopted them for yourself without first challenging them and understanding where they're coming from? I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm not saying that your political beliefs are wrong. And how about this one? How many of you believe something, anything, and will not hear or listen to anyone who doesn't believe the same thing as you do? There's a lot of this happening in the US right now, across the world right now. We believe, but where did our beliefs come from? We decide, but where do our decisions come from? And then if you do struggle at all with trusting yourself, trusting yourself to follow through, feeling confident in yourself, feeling confident in your abilities. You have to ask, did someone else decide for you? Are you believing something that's not coming from yourself? Is that why you're not confident? Is that why you're uncomfortable, or maybe don't always trust yourself to follow through, or trust yourself to do the right thing or make the right decision? I had a friend who used to challenge every single thing that I said. They would be like, I don't believe that. I'm going to look it up. And it would be a fact about like cheese or something so straightforward, a fact. And they would look it up, and it used to infuriate me. I would be like, do you not trust me? Do you not think that I did my research, or that I'm smart, or that I know anything? And they would be like, no, I don't. But later, I realized that it wasn't about me at all. Knowing something for yourself doesn't come from just believing what you're told. It comes from experiencing it yourself in some way. It comes from the knowing within you, the click of everything coming together. It's the light bulb moment. And I'm not saying question every single thing. I'm not saying don't trust any single person or entity or whatever. I'm just saying practice discernment. Learn how to check in with yourself. Learn how to listen. There's absolutely nothing wrong with seeking help, guidance, support, etc. But the answer, the decision, the action, the thing to do, it's best when it comes from you. So seek people who bring out yourself, who mirror to you what's in your heart. Don't give your power away. And if you want to start from within and work your way out, highly recommend. I'm teaching a full 7-week course, kicking off on March 2nd. Remember, I will never tell you what to do or believe. Only you can do that. So I will only and always guide you back to yourself. We will hone your intuition and sharpen your critical thinking and challenge everything that you think you know until you are sure of who you find within yourself. Because that is what will enable you to guide yourself into the life and the business and the work and the experience of your wildest dreams. That is what's going to enable you to be confident and feel worthy and know what you're doing and why you're doing it and who you are and why you're here, which is a game changer for your life, the way you live it. So email hello@thecorpsepsychic.com with the subject line, Your Soul's Purpose, if you want to know more. No pressure. Who are you? Why are you here? Where are you going? What do you want most in this life? You already know. No, really, you already know. Thank you for listening to the Spiritual 9 to 5 podcast with myself, Marie, from the Corporate Psychic. Save and follow for more wisdom. I also invite you to follow me on Instagram @thecorpsepsychic, and I would love for you to join our community. It's called TCP Community and Courses, and you can find it on Mighty Networks. And if you want to go big on you, reach out. I want to work with you. Wherever you are, whatever is on your mind, I hope to meet again, maybe in the next episode right here. I'm honoring you, and with gratitude, good day.